But later this week, our chicks need to be moved into these tractors. And as you can see, they've been sitting here all summer, since spring when we got done using them for the last batch. So my job today is to try to pull them out from all these weeds. And I know I'm going to have to replace the tarps on them because that's not any good. So first thing first, try to get them loose. Alright, so now that we got them out of the weeds, it's time to take these old tarps off and put the new tarps on. This is what the sun does, so I probably should have taken the tarps off over summer and stored them separately, but you know, life gets busy and this is what happens, so now we'll just replace them. Luckily, Harbor Freight had a coupon for free tarps, and so I got tarps for free. Alright, so the last thing to do on the chicken tractors is to, I'm going to replace the ratchet straps that I use to hold the ends up. But I wanted to show you how the chicken tractors work. I do have a video on how to build these. We'll leave a link to that up here. But I've made quite a few improvements to them since the time that I made them. So the original design that I got from another YouTube channel, which really didn't end up being very effective, was that there was a hinge up here at the top and the doors opened up, which I can say in theory makes sense that they sit up here and they're out of the way. The problem with that is when you're doing it and you want to keep the chickens in, there's no way the chickens just can run out. So what I did is I moved the hinges down to the bottom so that the doors open this way. And what I can tell you is, at least with the Cornish Cross, and we'll see with the Freedom Rangers, they're reluctant to run across this wire. So even if it's open, rarely do they run out. So, and that makes it easy. And they're sturdy enough, I mean, you can stand on it if you need to get in there. So, now the other problem with having it just at the top like this was it was hard to ever really get it secure. Originally, I just had chicken wire on here, and we did have an incident where we had a raccoon kill some of our broiler chickens. So I ended up adding the smaller wire all the way around, and that's when I got the idea to also use these tie downs. What I do is I run one on the middle here, and then all the way down to this end, and then you could just pull it tight, and it pulls the two doors against each other, and it makes a really secure fit. And I can tell you, when you have these on tight, I mean, there's no way anything's getting in there. I mean, these doors are now, they're as tight as they're going to get. No animal is going to get in there to kill your chickens. So it's a really good system. I also like it because you can just loosen it up and open the doors a little bit if you want. So it's just an effective way to use these tractors. And then there's just a rope here on the end that we can use to pull them so every day they get fresh grass. So these are all set. Later on this week we'll be moving the new chickens out to these tractors so they can start to have grass.
Well, we're also on baby watch here on the homestead with these goats. Tomorrow is the first possible day that any of them could have their babies. Looks to me like this one, Coco, will probably be first. All three of these goats are naughty. No. All three of these goats are first fresheners, which means they've never had babies before. So we'll see how that goes. This one here, Coco, who was over here before, the first one, that should be having her baby. She's really not generally a lovable goat to me. Princess, who is this white one here, she's definitely prego. She is generally the loviest of the two, but Coco has been very lovey to me lately, which is really common in the end part of pregnancy for these goats. They start getting a little bit clingier and a little bit more attention seeking. Honey, on the other hand, is being a stinker and wants to get the camera tripod. No playing with it. She's like a toddler and won't let it go. I know. Princess, I think, will be second to have her babies. So, in preparation for that, we're also getting kidding pens ready. We did a video several months back about downsizing our rabbitry, and we've done that, and we have just breeders left right now. The New Zealand breeders we've put out in rabbit tractors, and they're going to take the fall and the winter off from breeding. The silver fox we still have in breeder cages in the metal barn, and we're going to be moving them to pasture as well, at least until these babies are born. So the metal barn, which has been our rabbitry, has been turned into 2 kidding pens for these goats. So today, because Coco is so close and because tomorrow can be the very first day that she gives birth, we're going to make sure that we have at least one of these kidding pens up and ready for her. And depending on the way she looks this evening, I may put her in there overnight, just so that if she has her babies, she has her own space to do that, and the babies can stay safe in there. Hello! Can you see how big her belly is? Coco is in the barn, laying down. She's very uncomfortable. She's just so pregnant. Well, in order for Kevin and I to do some last minute touches on these kidding pens, it's really going to be easiest for us if these goats are not in here. So I'm going to walk them down to a temporary pen area, and as we walk, make sure you take note of how pregnant these girls are. Let's go. Let's go. Yep, come on, I got some food. That was easy when there's food involved. So this will be a perfect kidding pen. Plenty of space for Coco to have her babies. I brought in a small water bucket for her just to make sure that I have that ready right away after she has babies. When you have baby goats, it's important to have buckets of water that aren't too deep because it's possible for them to fall inside of them and drown. So I already have that ready to make sure that when the moment comes, it's just there and I don't have to worry about that. You know, I really think that I'm gonna move her in here tonight to keep her safe overnight. I'll make sure to bring in some hay for her to eat. But I am so excited to have babies on the homestead again.
So the last thing we need to prepare today before we head in for dinner is to bush hog the area here behind us. Just to give you some perspective, if you follow this trail right here, the pigs are right behind us. And this area here, we're going to be building a new goat enclosure.
We have put a deposit down on one more buck for our goat herd. And that will just round things out, and we'll be getting him in November. So we need to create a permanent pen for these guys. Now our current buck is out on pasture all the time and he's trained to electric netting, but this new buck is not, and we cannot afford to lose him and have him bust out of the electric netting. So we need to build some permanent fencing back here for both of them.
Right. Eventually, hopefully we can get him trained on the netting as well so we can move him around like we do our current buck. But to start off with, we need good, sturdy, permanent fence. So this area back here is not currently being used. We did have our other male goat back here last year. So I know this area is pretty cleared as far as big rocks and things like that. So I just need to get the bush hog out and get all these weeds out of here. So hopefully next week we can start building this pen. You gotta love having a bush hog. That thing is awesome. When you need to just cut down a bunch of stuff, it's great to have. So I think this is gonna be a great area to build our new pen for our bucks. I think they'll have more than they can eat back here. This stuff grows up fast, so we're excited to start building this pen and get them moved back here.
It's like they know where they're going.
Well, it's been a good day of getting projects done on the homestead. It's been busy, it's been long, but we have a cold front moving in tonight, so we wanted to get some of these projects done. Now it's not going to get like freezing, but it's supposed to get down to the 40s overnight tonight. So we wanted to get some projects done tonight before it rains again. And you know, every season on the homestead has its own set of things that we need to do. We're now moving into fall and planning for our winter projects. We're fortunate here in the Ozarks that our winters are pretty mild. We get a little bit of snow and some ice and some cold weather, but for the most part they're mild enough that we can continue to work and do projects outside all winter long.
And I am so excited that we have baby goats coming pretty soon. Any day. Coco is due tomorrow. We'll see. It doesn't always work that way, like it doesn't always work that way with humans. You guys, so thanks so much for spending some time with us today. If you enjoyed our video and you're not a subscriber yet, right now is a perfect time to hit the subscribe button below. If you know somebody that would like our channel or like this video, go ahead and share it with them. Thank you to all you traditionalists that come back and watch all of our new videos 5 days a week. And until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.